Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Captain Avi, Sarah. Is it cold where you're all at? It's cold here. Like I wore a fleeced line sweatsuit out to get my nails done. So it looks like it's just going to be me and Captain Avi and Sarah and Christy A. That's okay. Don't tell nobody, but you're all some of my favorites. I did. I was sweating my ass off in that salon. And I went to a new nail salon. Hey, Johnny Cuddy. Read the banner, please. If you can, don't dump your money on a YouTuber, dump it on a child for Christmas. Everybody will be fine without your money for a couple weeks. So, hello, iLurker. You are one of my favorites. The top 10. Top 10, iLurker. So, I was going to go live, and I had the perfect headline for it. If you don't have anything nice to say, just go live. Because that seems what happened. That seems to be what's going on. Everywhere I tune in, it's people talking trash, going real life on somebody else. So, but that's kind of like what it's always been. But tonight, I'm going to address Mr. St. John, Bryan. Yes, the nursing homes too. Yes. We all remember Bryan, don't we? Well, he's been gnawing at me for several months now. And for several months, I've privately emailed him or texted him or whatever and said, you know what, just don't talk about me. I'm not in your business. Quit talking about me. Well, nothing's changed, RJH. So, it comes up in my ASIN, it comes up in my algorithm or whatever. Bryan did a live. Okay, normally it's all about Darlie Routier. Okay. I mean, it's about a woman on death row, which obviously isn't good enough for Bryan because he has obsessed over her for 20 plus years. But he doesn't believe in the death penalty. But now I'm going to get a little nasty, Bryan, because you chose to get a little nasty. So now I'm going to get a little nasty. Hey, Tawanda, Miss Lee. And after I've asked you repeatedly to leave me out of your fuck shit, you still don't do it. Now, first of all, let me just clear this up for you, Bryan, real quick. I have never spoken to Sully outside of YouTube ever. So I've not given her any kind of information about your son's case. I didn't even know there was anything happening in your son's case. Hey, Money Moves. So you got that all wrong. I knew, Bryan, it would burn your ass when Rich said the other day that the truth is very knowledgeable about Darlie Routier's case. I knew as soon as that came out of Rich's mouth, it was going to light your balls on fire. And it did. But the fact of the matter is, Bryan, I don't talk about your son's case. When you're telling all kinds of lies about it, I don't stop and do a live and say, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. But now I'm going to. Because you invited me into your fuck shit. So open up the door and sit down. Had no idea that there was any kind of movement in Luke's case. And when it really comes down to it, Bryan, I was probably more sympathetic towards you when it came to what your son did than most anybody. I didn't jump on this because you know what? I still don't hold you responsible for what your son did, Bryan. Never would. Why would I? But you don't tell the complete truth when you're talking about your son's case. But yet you want to sit over there and call me a liar over something I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Because I don't talk to Sully. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm not above talking to her, but I just never have. So the fact that I didn't even know there was movement going on in your son's case should tell you, Bryan. Because if there was movement going on in it and there was something I disagreed with, you would be the first one. Hey, squirrel sandwich. You would absolutely be the first one I'd pick up the phone and call and say, what the F is this, Bryan? But I didn't because I didn't know. But yet you want to sit over and call me all kinds of big fat liars. Well, you got part of that right. I'm fat. But let's talk about the stories that you have told regarding your son's case. Okay? Hey, Sergeant Blackrock. Welcome, Squirrel Sandwich. To the channel, you get absolutely nothing for your money. I'm just going to be straight up. Ain't going to pull your leg. Um, but let's talk about the lies that you tell about your son's case. Okay? Since you want to sit over there and call me all kinds of liars. Number one, Bryan, you did not turn your son in. Okay? What you did was you walked down to Zach, your other son's apartment. And because the police were threatening Zach and Janie with a warrant to go up and search that apartment for Luke, and Janie was saying this is scaring her kids. And Zach damn sure didn't want the police up in his apartment. They ended up getting a warrant anyways, but that's where they found Luke's phone disassembled. But you came down in the midst. Hey, Simon, you came down in the midst of everything and said, just give me 10 minutes. I'll go up and get him. Do you think for 1 minute they were just going to drive away if you didn't go up and get him? No. They were going to get a warrant signed within 15 minutes and they was going up in that apartment and you didn't want that. That's okay, squirrel. And I don't blame you. I don't blame Zach. I don't blame Janie for not wanting the police up in their apartment. I'm sure that would have been, traumatic for their kids. Hey, Pixie Dust. But it's not like you know, drove Luke to the police station. That didn't happen that way, Bryan. When you saw the police were going to get a warrant to enter your other son's apartment, and you heard the mother of your grandchildren talking about how this is scaring her kids. Okay, Sergeant Blackrock. That's when you said, give me 10 minutes and I'll go up and get him. Give me 10 minutes. I'll go get him. I'll bring him to you. But right before that, when Luke was at your apartment talking to Detective Olmsted or whatever his name is, it was you, Bryan, that told him, make sure your GPS is off. And you recorded it. Hey, Crystal, for all the world to see. Make sure your GPS is off. Remember, Luke's phone was going dead. He was sitting in your apartment. Because if you don't have the video, still, I do. So, you want to call me a liar? I ain't lying about shit. You're the one sitting over there acting like you were the hero in your son's case. The only reason, Bryan, you were put on a witness list for that trial was to keep you out. Because the officials didn't want to deal with you. You had already been reprimanded for filming in the hallway of the courthouse. You had already been asked to leave because your phone was sticking out of your pocket. You had already been very vocal on social media about how wrong your son was being done. They didn't want to deal with you. So it's a ploy made by prosecutors and defense attorneys all the time. Put him on a witness list, never call him, but he can't come in the courtroom. Law 101, Bryan. They did it to Darlie Key in Darlie's case. But you're not going to sit over there and call me a liar when you lie daily about your son's case, and I just overlook it because I'm just really not that invested, Bryan, in Luke's case. But in your little video earlier, you said, my son's guilty. I don't think he should get out on a technicality. Again, I don't know what's going on with this case. Hey, Red Feather, what kind of appeal or whatever he's got going? Well, I don't think my son should get out on a technicality. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 minute. He gave that boy a concussion. Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, Speak Truth. A concussion. Do I need to read out that baby's injuries? And you want to smooth it out, but you did this back when it happened. I think you might have played a little rough with him. He broke that child, Bryan, and you know it. It was not a concussion. Well, he made one today, calling me a liar for whatever reason, Red Feather, because I don't discuss him. I don't discuss his son's case. Luke got what he got, and ta-da, done. It's not going to bring Braden back. I don't think he's getting out. I don't know. I don't know, Red Feather, because I haven't been keeping up on Luke's case because it's not my business. But Bryan wants to sit over there, randomly throw me in the midst of his garbage. Call me a liar when it comes to the Darlie Routier case. When he's sitting there blatantly lying about his son's case. Hey, Tinker. And I never say nothing. I just always let it slide. And probably still would let it slide if he'd leave my name out of his garbage mouth. So, again, Bryan, you want to come and panel up, and I'll ask you the tough questions, the ones you run from. Because I still don't understand how Darlie Routier was convicted of killing one of her sons and got the death penalty, and your son was convicted of killing one child and will walk free again. Make it make sense. Bryan will admit Luke's guilt now. In the beginning, he didn't. First, he came out and said, guilty, guilty, guilty. And I was one of the ones saying, whoa, dude, don't do that. Your son has barely even been arrested. So, hey, Tinker. So, again, I don't sit and nitpick through his son's case. And I'm not going to fight with him over Darlie Routier. I know the trial that Darlie Routier received was not fair. I know this. Can I sit here and say that I know for a fact Darlie didn't commit the crime she's been convicted of? No, I wasn't there. I know common sense says she didn't do it. Hey, Zero. But Bryan will say in one breath he doesn't believe in the death penalty, and he spent 20 something years picking and picking and picking at a woman on death row and her family. Now he brings up something that there was a page created about him. I didn't have nothing to do with the page. I got kicked out of the page. But they went pretty hard at Bryan. You know, they did. I don't know who was behind it. I know who wasn't, and that's Trisha. Because he said in his little video today that Trisha was the administrator. No, she wasn't. But this page, it was called like the Lion St. John or something. I get it, Speak Truth. I mean, people think she's guilty. And she's been convicted. So I don't have a problem with you thinking she's guilty. I personally think she got a raw deal in the courtroom. And I believe in a fair trial for everyone. But Bryan, it was this Facebook page got created. I don't know, Red Feather. I don't know. But his picking on people started long before Luke did what he did. But he said today that Trisha was the admin. No, she wasn't. I'm not saying she wasn't on that page. I don't really remember. I got kicked off the page for defending you, Bryan, dumbass. Yeah, me too, Sammy. But I don't have any problem with those that don't think it. I definitely don't go on Facebook and contact the non-supporters, family members and shit like Bryan does. It was a bad page. They said bad shit about Bryan's kids, and what did Bryan do in return? He said horrible shit about Braden. And on my community post, you'll see me texting him saying, please stop it. And you'll see what his response is to me. Right, right, Zero. And his response to me in that text message is, he can't see it. Me and mine can. Now, no, I didn't keep all this shit from 15 years ago or even from 2017. But I'm sure there's people out there that has it, Bryan. I don't know, Red Feather. I know Bryan started out being a supporter, and he lied about this the other day, too. Because he said he never accused Darren of the crime. That's what he said. But that's a damn lie. Because Bryan started out as a supporter for Darlie Routier until he kept pushing Darren as a suspect. And Darlie's mother, Darlie Key, finally had it up to her earlobes with him doing that. And she popped off and said something to the extent of, well, where were you on June 6th? Or where are your fingers? You submit your fingerprints. Something she said just out of frustration. Facebook gets used and say, oh, let me. Them Facebook people are crazy. And Bryan's one of them. Them Facebook people are crazy. And Bryan's one of them. They are true crimes. They are walking, talking, breathing true crimes. That's how I feel about him. So, Bryan, do you really, really want to kick up this dust? Because I don't really want to. But I'm not going to let you continue to make videos of using my name, saying that I'm doing shit behind the scenes I'm not doing, saying that I'm lying. And even though only 3 people watch your videos, I probably should have just let it slide. Because, I mean, it's 3 people. Why do you think Bryan's following dropped so much? Bryan used to have a pretty good crowd. He used to have a pretty decent channel. I mean, a bigger following. Why do you think it's because he does funky shit to people. He contacts your children. He's talking about when Trisha went up on Marsha White Sharkies and said, no, Bryan didn't say those things. I asked Trisha about that. Why would you say that? He said those things. You know what she said? Because, Tracy, I don't want to fight with him anymore. It's been too many years. I don't want him fucking with my family. I totally get it. Who wants their family messed with? Which seems to be the norm on here nowadays. I mean, you don't like somebody, just, I don't know, pull up their adoption papers on their children and flash it. I mean, it's crazy. But the difference between all of them people and Bryan is all them people ain't talking shit on me. Bryan is. So, do you really want to kick up all this dust, Bryan? Because I don't want to. But if you think for 1 minute I can't get my hands on every rotten thing you said about that baby, if you think I can't get my hands on the fact that you started on that family first, all they did was put a picture of Luke on Facebook and said, this guy just beat my grandson, my cousin, my nephew, whatever. And that pissed you off enough to get into private messages and start having a go at the grandmother of Braden. I saw it all, Bryan. Remember, I was right there. Bryan's more obsessed with Darlie Key, Darlie's mother, than he is Darlie. I don't understand why anybody's obsessed over it. If you believe she's innocent and you're fighting to get her out, okay. But if you believe she's guilty and she's sitting on death row, then what more do you want? I mean, unless you want to be the one to, push this the plunger. But really, Bryan, do you really want to go here again? Because I don't. But you're going to leave my name out of your bullshit. I don't want to put Braden through what you have put Devin and Damon through. As a matter of fact, I won't. I won't. But I will clap back at you, Bryan. So keep pushing me, buddy. Keep pushing me. And see where this goes. You're not going to like where it goes, Bryan. Because I can get copies of everything you said about that baby. You think people like Sundancer and them don't have copies of that? You're damn crazy. Hell, I can look back in my text messages and probably find it. But I don't feel like it, Bryan. I don't want to fight with you, dude. That's why I can't understand why you can't just leave me alone. I'm over here minding my own damn business. Occasionally I come on, talk a little shit, and then I'm gone. I don't go live for another 2-3 weeks, whatever. I ain't over here bothering nobody. Trust me, I got a lot to say about some of the bullshit that goes on around here. But I just pretty much keep it to myself, or I talk about it behind the scenes with somebody. But it don't involve Bryan. It doesn't involve Bryan's son, and it doesn't involve Darlie Routier. I don't know, Zero. I don't know. A man who runs a channel about Darlie Routier spoke up the other day and said that I was very knowledgeable of the case. And I knew as soon as that come out of Rich's mouth, that was going to chap Bryan's cheeks. I don't know why he won't leave it alone, Zero. The woman's on death row. You sit and say you don't believe in the death penalty, but what more can be done? I know. Thank you, Speak Truth. I have been minding my own business more than ever. I mean, imagine being married to a man that obsesses over a woman in prison. I'm sorry, Nicole, that you've had to share your husband with Darlie Routier. Well, Red Feather, I'd like to believe it's him misdirecting his anger, but he's done this for 20 years. You got to know, me and Bryan go way back. So he's actually kind of calmed down a little bit compared to what he used to be. And when I popped on his live to hear his Yankee janky shit, and boom, here comes my name. And he just keeps throwing it out there saying, I'm lying. I'm talking to this Scully person, Scully, whatever. I think it's Sully. I'm talking to this person behind the scenes. I'm telling, because he told nobody else but me. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You got a new KitchenAid? Ooh, fancy smancy. Fancy smancy. I kind of want to do a little side bet on who will go live on Thanksgiving and just be a total prick on here. I'm not talking about Bryan now. I'm talking about the whole little creepy corner of YouTube now. No, I love fresh bread. I love fresh bread. I'd be okay with just a bread maker. I don't. My sister-in-law has one. She never uses it, but I love fresh bread. I like anything that's fattening. I'm just going to put it out there. I like bread. I like potatoes. I like a good dessert. I'll be spending Thanksgiving with my family. Your bread machine. That's what I was talking about, Oliver. Well, Tawana, that's what you're supposed to do. Is you're supposed to gain pounds during the holidays and shake them off before bikini time. Like that's a thing in my life. Bikini time. I was actually cleaning out, I painted my bedroom furniture. So I was cleaning out my bathing suit drawer. And I wish you would have seen some of the bathing suits I came across. I was like, oh my God, what was I, 3 when I wore that? I mean, it was like, now when I think about it, it's kind of funny. It was funny then, too. You haven't been eating bread for 2 months now, but you're going to indulge on Thanksgiving. Indulge. I mean, hell, put some Cool Whip on there. Gross. You didn't miss much. It's just me cussing Bryan, Sarah, for being a jackass. You'll get back in them, Tawanda. Just until you do, invest in some good sweatsuits or something. Right. With the alligators in the lake. Yeah. Cool Whip is for pumpkin pie. I do agree. Oh, just over there throwing me in his nonsense, calling me a liar, and I'm talking to this Sully person. Sarah, do I talk to people behind the scenes other than our little Discord talks? I don't think so. When I hear Cool Whip, I think of Stewie from Family Guy. Hey, Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots, can I speak on you? Am I allowed? No, I don't. Cool Who Whip. Cool Who Whip. Cool Who Whip. Cool Who Whip. Hmm. Okay, guys. So Puss in Boots here in my chat has recently been diagnosed with breast cancer. Um, luckily, she doesn't have all the answers yet, but um, it seems that they've caught it early. No metastasis. So if you are saying your prayers, which I do every night, I got a whole list of people I put in my prayers. But if you could throw one Boots way that she starts chemo in December, I think, and just and another one that I just found out about is Jenna Moon. Jenna Moon was obviously diagnosed back in August, and she's been going through it. She's had a few surgeries. She, I felt so bad because I didn't know it until after she went live. But when I went back and listened to it, she said, I went live and nobody came in. And she was talking about, yeah, that's how I learned about it too, Zero. Hey, Ohio Stephanie. Um, but if I'd have known she was live, because she's gonna, document her journey, I would have gone in there, you know. I mean, I don't, me and Jenna, we were very tight at one time and then we kind of drifted apart, but isn't that kind of the way it goes on this platform? But yeah, just like I said, if you can spare a prayer for Puss in Boots and Jenna Moon and anybody else out there suffering, Luckily, I did my scans and they all came back stable. So I'm not bragging, but I was happy. But I want Jenna to know that there's people out here for her. I mean, I don't. Puss in Boots knows. I know, Sarah. I know. We just talked. I agree. So much breast cancer these days. It's making me wonder. Don't make me get on a conspiracy theory. But so many people in my old circle here on YouTube. I mean, Laura. Yes, Laura was in my circle. Um, Alicia really has never been in my circle, but Laura, Alicia, Puss in Boots, Jenna Moon, um, another friend that was in that little group. I mean, it's like crazy, but I'll just. Yeah, you don't want me to get into that, the old vaccines and shit like that, because I took them too. Uh, but all you can do is to pray for these ladies and that they have the. Well, Tawanda done started the conspiracy theory. Where are you, Speak Truth? I've been sick since I got my COVID vaccine. Zero says same, Tawanda. I think there's a lot of that. But come on, let's not be Debbie Downers. Because I don't even think about it. I did get a COVID vaccine. Stop it. I never got a vaccine. A lot of people didn't, Red Feather, and now I'm thinking they absolutely did the right thing. But a lot of people's jobs were, I mean, it was it was mandatory in a lot of situations. And some people didn't have a choice. And the fear that they put in people. The fear that they put in. I mean, I had a total nervous breakdown over COVID. I lost my mind. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jane the Teach. It's going to be pretty simple here. This is the first one without Boog. It's funny because my memories are starting to pop up, and there he is. I was just listening to our old voicemails the other day. Hold on, you're going to hear the TV for a minute. I'm going out in the bitter cold. Brrr. You said you got me whatever. What you said, right? Right. That's what I'm saying, Zara. There were so many stipulations put on people when it came to that, and just the outright fear that, we were all put under. I don't know. Let's just hope that they find a vaccine for the vaccine. And the people that didn't get it, good for you. How are the puppers doing? Well, Maggie just came out with me. She got on my nerve. I woke up this morning thank goodness there was only one left in the bag, but my brother had left some cinnamon disc, those little hard candies, and I found a wrapper in the bag, so I guess she got her one cinnamon disc. The other puppies just shedding and drooling all the days. Well, I don't think you should be called names. I don't know what that is, Sergeant Blackrock. No, Brian just won't quit. He won't, Eilerger. He's the most persistent human being I've ever met. It's insane. It's insanity. All I want is for him to leave me out of his bullshit. Yes, she did unwrap it and was kind enough to leave the wrapper on the floor so that I know at least she only ate one. Actually, I had to wait till my brother got up and said, "How many cinnamon discs was in that bag?" And he said, "I think like one." I said, "Okay, well, she got one. Fair and square." That's me, Sarah. He pops up in my feed. And I'm a nosy hoe. I'm going to go listen for at least 2 minutes, and then I get bored and click out. I do that with a lot of people. I mean, Makeup Mobster gets about 2 minutes out of me. Laura gets about 2 minutes out of me, if that. Um, the whole Flava, Queen Bee, I won't even give her 2 minutes. Uh, the whole Flava, the whole Flava, the whole Michelle Sabate thing blows my mind. It's like, do you realize you've spent a big part of your time on YouTube going after a mentally ill alcoholic? What do you do when you come across a mentally ill person in the street? Do you punch them, pinch them? It's not all good for those of us that didn't. We still had a lot of old friends and family that got it. They were forced into it, didn't have cope, went and got the shot, and has had it several times. I agree, Cass. It was his last video. I don't think I was in the title, not his last video, because he just popped up on my thing again. You're right. That's how I keep up with almost everything, is listening to Zero. And me and Zero don't agree on a lot of stuff, but it's good. It's cool. It's okay. You know, I'll pop off in her comments and she'll pop off back to me. Sometimes my comments don't even go through. I think I think YouTube holds them sometimes, because I'm not always nice in my comments. I try not to curse. Are you Mystery Maverick? No, I'm not. Mystery Maverick, I believe, is from like England, or I could be wrong. I don't know. I know she's a Darley supporter. She's a supporter of Darley getting a new trial. But yeah, if it wasn't for Clipper, I wouldn't know shit that goes on around here, because I don't stick around long enough to Right. I get it, Zara. Trust me. I don't go around crying because my comments didn't go through. And I don't accuse people. Are you withholding my comments because I'm telling the truth? You know, no. I ain't that important to withhold comments over. So, oh, the Tawanda troll, or not even a troll, the clone. You support cussing. I do too, Cass. But you know what I cannot stand? And I cuss. And I say the F word a lot. Tracy, have you listened to any new true crime channels that used to be DC? No, because they all suck. Right, Zero. No, speak truth, because they all suck. I mean, A for effort, for trying to change up your platform. Good luck. But you went from getting 1,400 views to 250 views. And if you're okay with that, I'm okay with it. I don't care. I'm not one that stresses over views. Brantley, I was just getting ready to say that. Okay, Puss in Boots, I'll remind you. But there are some creators, and I'm sorry, Queen Bee is one of them, that cannot. You can be talking about the weather, and she has at least 5 fucks and 3 GDs in there. And I can't. That's unintelligent talking to me. I can't stand the cuss word GD. I don't like it. I remember when my dad used to say it. And if you think about it, a lot of old school, older men used to use that word a lot. And you just be talking about the weather. And they'll be like, yeah, GD rain's coming in. Why it has to be GD rain and not just rain, I don't know. It's just not a word that I like. So when I hear people repeatedly say it, then I'm turned off. No, Bridget. Number one, Bridget, yours, number one, is mostly shorts. And I meant to ask you, where do you come across the people that you come across? Where do you find these people? I'm a cusser too, Bridget. Fuck is my middle name. I watched one of your shorts the other day, and I don't know which one it was, and all I could think was, where does Bridget find these people? Speak truth. I don't know. I don't think there is nobody, not Jay is for justice. None of them can consider themselves true crime. I just don't. Don't try and cut into my work. I won't. I promise you. Fuck them all. I won't. But it reminds me of these TikToks I've seen lately since the election. And no, we're not getting into politics, but I had to watch this chick on TikTok. I was telling Sarah about it earlier. I had to watch her like 5 times to see if she was serious. And she was. I might have seen it on Bridget's channel. I don't remember. Because I'm not a big TikToker. But she was upset because her son identifies as a cat, and the vet refused to see him medically. Well, look it up because this woman is serious. I mean, this woman is serious. She is upset that her child identifies as a cat, and she took him, I believe it's a little boy, for medical treatment at the vet, and the vet had to explain that they're not capable of treating the human anatomy. That's not what they went to school for, and she's going to try to change it. Red feather, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is this child shitting in a box in the corner of the room? Bridget. I know, Zero. I know. And like I said, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is a joke. But her eyes are really welling up with tears. Like she's really upset, and she's going to do something to change it for her child's right to identify as a cat and be seen by a cat doctor. And people wonder why I become a homebody. Hey, Surrender. Exactly, Cass. And this girl, she's younger, so she's obviously a young mother. That don't have anything to do with it. I mean, I knew at 9. If I would have become a mother at 13, I would know not to take my baby to the veterinarian. There's a singer now that isn't single. He's dating himself. There's a new word for that too. I just can't. Well, I hope he's good to himself. I hope that man is buying himself flowers, and I can buy myself flowers. Nowadays, you might be better off just dating yourself. I can't, man. I swear. After the election, I spent days doing nothing but watching funny TikToks. Yeah, I watched Susan Smith's parole hearing. She ain't. I didn't think for 1 minute she was going to get it. And to be honest with you, after listening to her, she sounds exactly like she did 30 years ago when she did that to the kids. So Right, Bridget. Red Feather. He will have cheated on himself and breaking up. Me too, Red Feather. I literally spent days just watching crazy TikTok people having come aparts over the election. Women on there having a total meltdown, screaming, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and be a slave. Are you kidding me? I do too, Red Feather. I still catch a few here and there. It has settled down quite a bit. Can you marry yourself? Can I claim as married, head of household, and a dependent? I might have to look into this. Hey, just don't take your child to the veterinarian. Just don't do it. Hello, Bolo. Hope you have been well. None of the fun people go live anymore. It's just everybody showing each other's criminal records. Everybody GPS in everybody's house. Everybody showing up at everybody's house. Right, Boston? Where did all the fun people go? Did we ever have fun people? Did she get pet insurance for her son? I doubt it. You know who I used to laugh at? I don't care. Don't come in here telling me about how horrible their history was and what all they did that was so bad. I don't care. But the porch. If you didn't laugh at the porch, then you don't have a funny bone in your body. Because they was funny as fuck. It was like a it was like watching Hee Haw. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do karaoke. Right, Wanda? They were funny. I know, Cass. And like I said, I'm sure they did ornery shit on here too. I'm sure they picked up the phone and called somebody on somebody. Um, you know, you spit something like that out, and everybody's like, "Oh, you support the porch?" I haven't seen the porch in years, but they were funny as hell. And where else can I mean? It was like a YouTube version of Hee Haw. Yes, it did. Speak truth. Oh, Ricky and his hair, and how he used to flip it. Remember Ricky always flipping his hair? Here was Ricky, okay? Pam would say something, and this would be Ricky. He'd be like, Yep, yep, that's fact. That's fact. He just added just enough to make it funny. Yes, Sarah. I don't know, Sergeant Blackrock. I hope they're okay. I hope everybody's okay. I don't dislike anybody enough to hope they're not. I had heard one of them had gotten sick, but I don't know how true that is. But I loved Ricky gave you just enough. I mean, Pam be over there just talking, 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 and Ricky be over there flipping that long gray hair with, "Yep, yep, that ain't no lie." I loved it. Remember when Ricky started dressing up? You think people were harassing him so much that they just quit? I don't know. Did anyone else just hear a guy yell in their headphones? The only guy you heard, Bridget, was me. Yes, he did. Truth, what's your thoughts on the Delphi trial? I think it was bullshit. I don't know how they ever found that man guilty. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm saying they didn't prove it. I don't know. I don't know. Crazy weirdos want you. I mean, Ricky's pretty easy to do an impression of, Boots. I mean, he just sat there and said, "Yep, yep, that's the truth. That's the truth." Yeah, don't get me started on the Delphi because I'll just wrap it up in one little bow. Sergeant Blackrock, I don't know. I can't say whether the man did it or not. I can just say that it wasn't proven in court and that those attorneys got cock blocked on absolutely everything they tried to do to put on a decent defense. Maybe, Sergeant Blackrock. Maybe. I saw where old Jay for Justice has a problem with one of the Menendez boys, or they're not boys, they're grown men. Even called him a perv. Why would you do that, Jay? Why would you call the man a perv? Oh, because you can? Because there's a big lawsuit going on over freedom of speech? Fuck off with all that. Yes, there was zero. I was like, there has been an injustice in Delphi, Indiana. That's the first thing I do now is run to my community post. And it's funny because I don't see many people's community posts. So I don't know why she would do that. Truth, do you remember the child trafficking bust out of Indiana, Ohio a while back? Yes, I do. And I understand what you're saying, Sergeant Blackrock, because other people have connected those two. Right, Red Feather? I'm from South Carolina, so I've been re obsessing. Well, like I said, speak truth. I didn't get in a big twisted knot over Susan Smith because it's her first time up for parole on a life sentence. Um, so I didn't think she was going to get it. Bye, Bridget. Have a good holiday. Yeah. So I wasn't real worried about it. I watched it, and to me, she hasn't changed a bit other than she's gotten older. She's still, she's still not fully owning everything that she did. You know, she's more worried about her. And I knew with the infractions she's gotten since she's been in there. I mean, the last one was just like back in August. I just knew she rarely do you get your first parole. Rarely. So I wasn't real concerned with her getting paroled. I watched it. I saw where Leilani Simon got 40 years, 30 plus 10, 30 in life in Georgia is a minimum of 30. You have to do a flat 30. And then she got plus 10, so 40 years. I know, Zero. You know what I noticed with Leilani? Her mom was there in the crowd. First time throughout the trial that BJ showed up. And when Leilani, they were talking about little Quentin's remains, and Leilani stood up and said she would like her brother. Ooh, man, you could just see the anger come over BJ's face. Well, I mean, the babysitter's daughter tried. What was the Leilani's plus 10 for? Because she had some other charges, like, wasn't it for like lying to in law enforcement? And I don't know. Speak Truth probably knows what charges she had. I knew that judge was going to go with life and not life without. I just knew it. As a matter of fact, I wrote in the chat, I bet she gets 20 years. So she actually got more than what I thought the judge was going to go for. She's never admitted it, Red Feather. She's never come right out and said, I did that to Quentin. Um, Actually, pretty recently, they came across writings of her and a pen pal, I think, where she's still trying to point the finger at Danny or Bubba or anybody but her. So, no, I don't think she's admitted. Well, I don't know about evil as fuck, but I can tell you ain't none of them got a lick of sense in their head. I mean, I'm sorry, but you want to hand over your baby's remains that you made them remains to your brother who, I'm sorry, but Paul's just not that bright of a person. He's like, well, I ain't gonna sit and stew in it for the rest of my life. Up there, I couldn't believe they recalled him in the sentencing phase. When they said Paul, I was like, oh my God. I know, Zero. I know. He's, yes. For her to even refer to him as her son, he was a disaster as a witness, but I did get a couple chuckles out of him back in the original trial when he went on and on and on about the pizza he didn't get. Sergeant Blackrock, as far as the Delphi, even though appeals they take so long, I really do think Richard Allen has a strong appellate case. I really do. He said he's autistic. I think he's just crazy. Well, I think he just flies by the seat of his pants, and you know he, he just ain't gonna sit around and stew in it. I don't know. Could you imagine being BJ and having two kids in prison for murder? I mean, two of your three or four kids. Sad, man. It's crazy sad. And they claimed the whole drug thing. The drugs didn't do it. Yes, speak truth. Yeah. I think that hit a nerve with a lot of people. I really do. I think that really hit a nerve with people. So you all think they have the wrong person in the Delphi case? Yes, Red Feather, I do believe they have the wrong person. But what I know is that trial was not right. It just, well, that's what they're hoping for is RA dies in prison. I mean, that's what they tried to do this last round, but he survived it. It was injustice. Everybody deserves a fair trial. Everybody. Even if you're guiltier than sin, you deserve a fair trial. It sucks, but it's the way it has to be. And the man didn't get a fair trial. Whenever in the history of all histories have you heard a judge block the defense from coming up with an alternate suspect? Nope, can't talk about that. What do you mean? That's their job. Yeah, I think Quentin was well, I mean, you heard Paul testify that he walked in that night and told him to shut up, like it was an everyday thing to be told, to tell those littles to shut up. You know, I believe his arm was yanked around. It's not severe abuse, absolutely abuse. And I think it's been made pretty clear that Quentin was not her favorite. I mean, you shouldn't really have a favorite, I don't think. I don't have multiple children, I only have one. But I would think if I had multiple, that I would just have a different relationship with them, not a favorite relationship. Agree, Sarah. I think Quentin was the type of little boy that would bond to anybody that showed him kindness, that showed him love and affection and kindness. And everybody says Quentin looks just like her. Look up her, look up Leilani's brother. Quentin looks just like him. Right. I don't know, Red Feather. Somebody typed in a chat that BJ has them. But then I've heard that they're, still in state custody. So I don't know. And when Danny was questioned about where is your daughter, he refused to answer it. He said, I don't think that has anything to do with this. So I know. Such a cute little boy, too. I mean, not that, you know, kids that aren't so cute, but, there's certain kids that just, their eyes twinkle. Braden was like that. I mean, just by looking at pictures of Braden, videos of him, he was just the kind of kid that just twinkled. I feel like Quentin was like that. I mean, they're twinkle kids. I mean, there's all children are innocent and pure, and but not all of them twinkle. Somebody gonna clip this. Somebody gonna put it out there. Oh, there's the truth picking on little babies. I agree, Sergeant Blackrock. Sarah, I hope they get so far from that mess that hopefully they don't ever have to know. Zero, not clipping. We'll keep clipping Zero because believe it or not, that's the only way I know what the hell's going on around here. Because I can't set through these people's live streams. I just can't do it. Maybe so, Red Feather. What do you think about the men? I think they should be freed. Puss in Boots. They did their time. Somebody summed it up. But that the prosecutor that was fighting for him, or the attorney general, who was it? The gray haired guy with glasses. He's no longer in office. So they might have a little, hurdle to. I keep having to shower after each one of my water bill. It's horrendous. Yeah. But I personally believe there is, let them out, because I believe what somebody said. I don't know who it was, but somebody fighting for their freedom made the statement, if they were the Menendez sisters, they wouldn't have gotten this kind of time. But back in those days, you didn't hear, it just wasn't spoken on. little boys, big boys, teenage boys, whatever, boys, males being abused like that, being sexually abused like that. You didn't hear about that. So it's time to let them go, man. And I wonder, what's funny about Shannon hiding her stream? Because somebody said something about it. Did you hear Shannon's stream? I was like, no, why? Well, it's gone. But just two community posts down, she's getting on somebody's ass for hiding their stream. Yeah, I don't know if I would use the word justified, Red Feather, but it's definitely a mitigating circumstance that should have worked in their favor when it came to sentencing them. I don't know, Zero. She, as soon as she did it, she hit it. Something about she took a jab at Savage and them. Who knows? I don't know. That's another one I just can't deal with. Some of the orneriest shit comes out of that woman's mouth. I mean, go look at her community post, and I'm sure she's probably talking to Tam Tam, but she talks about go take some more pills that your husband probably dug out of his mother's cold carcass. It's like, who thinks like that? Don't say stuff. That's gross. That's depraved. That's what Laura is. That's what Shannon is. I don't like Elon Musk. He creeps me out. I don't know what it is about the man, but he just kind of gives me the EB jeebies. Elon Musk kind of gives me the EB jeebies. I don't know what it is. I look at him and sometimes think he's one of those robots he's created. Yeah, doesn't he, Sarah? He's like creepy. He gives me the same feeling. I don't want him. Yeah, it's just he's always. It's kind of like oh, who was the singer that was kind of creepy also, but at least I don't know, but he just gives me like creepy vibes, like very intelligent. Oh, I'm sure he is. I mean, oh, I'm sure he is. But and you don't usually get to where Elon Musk is in life if you're not somewhat intelligent. But Mark's a puss. Sorry, oh Zuck. I don't really want Elon Musk in charge of anything in the government. He scares me a lot, Sarah. I mean, he's ready for a Jetson world. I'm not. Hell, I watched a video about the little sleeping pods in an airport in Japan or China. I think it was Japan, Tokyo, and going to a little diner where this big robot arm fixes your coffee and shit. No people. There's no people there. And I was like, whoa, too futuristic for me. Elon said that what has been done already with AI is terrifying. Yep. Amber Heard called him Rocket Man. He wants to give us brain chips. He's evil. Well, and he ain't giving me no brain chip. I just got a text message. Sorry, Laura. I mean, you're the one that named your channel that. And you do say some pretty depraved shit sometimes, Laura. And you own it. So, I mean, no, she texts me. Right. She names her channel The Depraved Mind and then and then texts me saying, I'm not depraved. Okay, Laura. I ain't here to fight with you, Laura. You got enough people going at your ass. I just let them chew on you. I mean, oh, Sarah's telling her to share with the class. Okay, Laura. Yeah, I got it. She's not depraved and she is nothing like Shannon. That's what Laura said. No, I don't even know who Nicey Nash is. Niecy Nash. Who the hell is that? Don't try to go all modern on me, Sergeant Blackrock. Remember? I can't even remember who the glitter lady is. I thought it was the Holocaust girl. Didn't I? Well, Zero, and I know. I mean, I see what you write in chats and I see your videos and stuff, and you're entitled to your opinion. I get it. Um, but I keep hearing everybody say that it's unforgivable. It's unforgivable. Well, if you're still sitting in Savage's chat, then Laura's not unforgivable. If you're still sitting in Flava's chat, then Laura's not unforgivable. If you're still sitting in Bombshell's chat, then Laura's not unforgivable. Because each one of these people have done. I mean, Savage called CPS on Sam, didn't she? Or Sam called on Savage? I don't know. Now, Laura, you ain't coming over here and getting no big pats on the back either. I'm just saying, you know, if you're still sitting with people that have done horrible, horrible shit and saying that Laura's stunt is unforgivable, then I don't know. I don't get that. I want key lime pie. Key lime pie, I can only have like a couple bites of it. It's too rich for me. Only my clone sits in those chats. I know. I heard her, Zero. I text her. I do believe she is remorseful for what she did. I also believe that Laura made her bed and she's got a lie in it, and she is. But I can't sit and say that one thing is forgivable when other people have done the exact same fucking thing and people support them. Bye, Twanda. Hope your bread turns out. Right. I agree with that too, Sarah. You can't be mad at people, Laura, when you're constantly saying bad stuff. And you do, Laura. I texted you the other day and said, I cannot believe that you said that. And you said, it was a troll and they pissed me off. It's still gross. If I see changed behavior, then you can start to forgive people. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to sit here and argue over Laura. You know, Laura knows how I feel about it. But I also feel like if you can sit there and support Savage or some Sam Telfer or uh, Flava or Bombshell or Michelle Sabate, which I don't think anybody supports, they just use her to have content. I mean, she's a mentally ill alcoholic, you know, talk about punching down. Well, I don't know about 14 times worse, Laura. I don't know. Bad is bad, no matter how you chalk it up. I don't know that there's levels of bad. I mean, I don't go around trashing Laura because I've seen so much done on here that I mean, I would feel like a hypocrite if I only trash Laura for something that so many people have done. Doesn't mean I agree with it. I think it was horrific, but I didn't do it. So, yes, we are. We are desensitized to it. Yes, red feather. An eye for an eye makes the world blind. Yes. And you'd be silly to sit in here and think that Makeup Mobster hasn't done shit behind the scenes. She just didn't get caught. Laura got caught. If Laura had not played CPS victim for 3 years, knowing she was a CPS caller herself, people might have forgiven her. Yeah, I'm not going to stay on much longer either, Zero. Have a good, if I don't talk to you, which I'll be in your comments, but have a good holiday. I'm definitely not going to have a full blown out live over Laura. There's just nobody that interests me enough to sit and debate on what's worse. Nasty is nasty. I don't care how you chalk it up. It's just nasty. Hey, Jess Fletch. You know, Flava called Molly Golightly's kids' school. And Flava's still up and booming. I mean, we got people showing up at each other's houses and shit. It's just it's all gross. I can collectively say it's all gross. Flava, this girl is on fire. Flava. That's why I don't speak on this shit that often because there is so much nastiness. And, Laura, your mouth is what keeps you from being forgiven because you don't ever lighten up. You don't lighten up. Your mouth just keeps on going and it keeps on saying ornery shit. So every time you get in, yeah, rather juvenile behavior. But every time you get your, you know, you every time you get one step forward, you take 10 back because of your mouth. you know, and you don't have any regrets when it comes to the things you say, or you wouldn't have responded to me the other day when I texted you and said, Laura, you're no better than Queen Bee with what you just said. I was just talking about Shannon's community post, talking about take some more pills from the carcass of your dead mother. I mean, why do people think like that? I mean, I'm not about getting agencies involved in anybody's life. You know, if it ever comes out who did it to Laura, then, you know, Laura, there'll be somebody sitting in the shit seat right beside you then, because it wasn't right either. But you kind of opened that can of worms, Laura, when you went on that panel talking about how bad it is to do, and then you done it. Hey, critters. You see, it comes down to self reflection. That's what it comes down to. Don't come on here running your mouth at people for something that you did. And it happens all the time on here, not just Laura. How many times I say in Discord, does she have any self awareness at all? I mean, to come on here and to out somebody's criminal record when yours is as long as your leg, it makes no sense. But see, Laura, that you say that when I did it, I was not the person I am today. So you know that you wouldn't do it today. But I think you know that because of the blowback that you've gotten from that. And you deserve it. You deserve the blowback. Uh, but you say you're not the same person. But I still feel like, Laura, you too, squirrel. I still feel like your mouth presents the same person. Maybe you wouldn't physically pick up the phone and do that again. you know, but your mouth doesn't represent a changed person, Laura. I mean, you can feel changed inside of you. Okay, then, Laura, you say my mouth hasn't changed. How do you expect people to accept that you're a changed person when you don't put off that you're a changed person? You just say, I would never do it again. But if the things are still coming out of your mouth, then how is somebody supposed to connect that? Yeah, she still says really gross, depraved shit, but she's changed. You're not making the pieces fit, Laura. I mean, you're not making the pieces fit. But I'm not your PR person, and I'm not your mother, and I'm not your Holy Spirit. So you deal with it the way you want. I'm just not going to continue to carry on about it. I'm not going to see Laura in chats and nip at her heels when the people whose chat you're sitting in nipping at Laura's heels. And this goes out to Tupac's wife, Tupac's mom, Tupac somebody. Sitting there nipping at Laura's heel in the chat of somebody who's done just as crazy shit. Well, if words don't mean much to you, then Laura, then how do you explain what you did? Because it was makeup mobster's words that bothered you to the point that you did what you did. Exactly. This whole community, Laura, is based on what you go live and say. So if you want to come off as a changed person, then present a changed person. But by the same token, I'm not going to, be in a chat biting at Laura's fucking heels like I saw the other day when Laura went into Flava's. Uh, when the same people biting at Laura's heels accept someone who's done the same exact thing. Well, the Enterprise, you really don't know if MM goes real life. You don't know that. I mean, Laura still doesn't know who called on her. I'm not saying MM did it, but Laura taught me a good lesson, and that is to not freaking just blindly rally around somebody because it will bite you in the ass. So, just a whole lot of ugliness on this platform. And Laura, but to be fair, there's no evidence of MM going real life. True. I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, I've seen some pretty rank shit out of MM, but I've never seen proof. Well, I mean, she did look up somebody that used to donate a lot of money to Laura and Molly for no other reason than to see who this person was. And she went and looked up their home and all of this shit. You know, I don't know. Is looking somebody up real life? I don't know. All I know is everybody's way too comfortable on this platform. Have a good one, Red Feather. Everybody on this platform is way too comfortable with what's going on in people's real lives. Hey, Captain of my soul. But I said from jump when it got called out and Laura admitted to it, I said, well, kind of like my mom used to say to me, you shit in your bed, now lie in it. Right. There is no excuses. I agree, Captain of my soul. You know, Laura let words drive her to do something that was wrong. And every day on here, I see something every single day on here where it just keeps getting creepier and creepier and dirtier and dirtier. And it's like, okay, I guess this is the new norm. I don't want to be a part of the new norm. But you know, like I said, people can bite at Laura's heels all they want. I'm just not going to be the one to do it. Because 9 times out of 10, if I see Laura in a chat of somebody, it's somebody that's doing just as ornery as she did. The crime community is, and let's face it, there's no true crime going on over. I mean, actually, a lot of people are walking, talking true crimes, but there ain't no real crime channels over it. No real crime creators over here. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't go to Laura or Randy or One Win for my crime. I go to a channel that's been doing it for years that does not get involved in drama, and all they do is true crime. And they've built their channel that way. Hey, Sada. And they've been really successful with it. And I mean, I don't seek out people in this little corner of YouTube to get my true crime fix. I don't. I don't like J is for Justice. She's not true crime, in my opinion. I don't watch Gray. Um, he's even a little drama queen now. I feel like when people don't have drama, they resort to true crime. True. And good luck to them. Good luck. You're busting your butt on your new channel that you named Depraved Minds, which a person sitting in your position right now, Laura, you couldn't have named it anything worse. Yeah, you do actually have to research cases if you're going to cover them. And Laura, I'll just tell you that I did go to your new channel because I like the Misery Machine. And I figured that's what you're trying to go for, something similar to that. But you have right there in your about section or whatever that basically you're saying nobody uh, you're saying nobody can use your videos. But yeah, Laura, they can because you're using them from somebody else. I mean, you're not putting those videos together. You're going out and finding these crime videos. But hey, you do you, Laura. People are now sucking at true crime that used to tell Laura that she sucked at true crime. True. True. But I'm getting off here. It's um 37 minutes past my usual time I talk. I basically just came on to tell Bryan because obviously sending him a private message doesn't work. So, hey, Bryan, you want to kick up all this dust again? Because I don't want to, but I can. Or you could just leave me out of your mouth. Simple, easy peasy. Now, I'll go live soon again, and you all can tell me all of your weirdest Thanksgiving food traditions. So you can't count turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean. You can't. You got to come up with one of your weird ones. I can't believe you think I'm taking it from another creator. Okay, Laura, I'll take that back until I actually go watch the video because it appeared to me like the Misery Machine. They take true crimes. Right, Sarah? But I'll take that back until I actually go watch the video because I thought you were taking a true crime video that was already out there somewhere and you were adding your spin to it, which is fine if that's what you want to do. You honestly cannot believe I think that. Oh, Laura, please. You hold me to way too many you have really high expectations of me, Laura, apparently. But like I said, I ain't here to nip at your heels, Laura. You do you. You figure out how to fix the mess you caused because it's your mess. And you know, do you. Just don't hurt anybody in the process. Go back to being Laura. But now I'll get a video tomorrow from Makeup Mobster saying I'm over here victim blaming. Even mention me and P. Diddy. Leanna, what the hell does P. Diddy have to do with me? I've never even spoken on Diddy. I don't even know who the hell Diddy is. A rapper? Goofy, goofy, goofy. All right, guys. Um, might see you before the holiday. If I don't, please enjoy your holiday. And if you can't be with the ones you love the ones you're with. And maybe put a little extra to the side. And yeah, I'm not a Diddy fan. I don't even know what Diddy did. I mean, I know the charges against him, but I don't know what he did before he was what he is now. A rapper, I think. I don't know. But if you make dinner, maybe put a plate to the side and take it over to your neighbor who might be spending the day alone. That's what I'll be doing. But I'll see you guys around the tubes. Bryan, shut up. Leave me alone. I don't want to play with you no more. Stop it. Puss, take care. Somebody, you might want to go over, people might want to go over and wish Jenna Moon well. Um, prayers for Boots. And I'll see you guys around the tubes. All right. Bye.